It's time to dive beneath the surface and into the minds and hearts of your favorite celebrities and pop culture icons. Welcome to Up and Adam.
Hey guys, what's up? You're watching Up and Adam. My name's Adam Newell. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm the guy bringing you guys all the weekly interviews and recaps from your favorite celebrities and pop culture influencers. But for those of you who do know me, you know that that's not why we're always here, right? Guys, if you haven't already, go ahead, smash that like button, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell because, well, you don't want to miss anything we have coming up. And with that, let's jump right in. Okay, guys, so we're back to talk about Erika Jane, Erika Girardi, whatever you want to call her. We're back to talk about her again. And it's because reports are coming out saying that she is fearful ahead of her 50th birthday. Well, Erika Girardi's birthday is on July 10th, so she's a Cancer just like moi, which means we have a lot of emotions and we hold them in. I think that's what that means. I don't know. I'm not a horoscope expert, I guess. But the point is, we're both Cancers. That's not necessarily, there's not a lot of things that I would want to share in common with Erika Girardi, but I guess if it's anything, it's that. I'm not quite sure. Anyways, we're back to talk about her and how she's feeling ahead of her 50th birthday, because from what reports are saying, they're saying that Erika Girardi is fearful to lose everything. They're saying that she's watching her once lavish lifestyle, this extravagant lifestyle, the private jets, the beautiful cars, the beautiful mansion, all crumble before her very eyes. Now, that's probably true. And to be fair, there's a lot happening, and she's been involved in a lot of these cases, or at least even if she didn't participate in her soon-to-be ex-husband's actions, she's still involved by default, I guess is the best way to put it. Erika Girardi is apparently, what they're saying, furious about the documentary that came out because she has no control over it. Now, if you guys missed the documentary, I don't know who missed it at this point, unless you just don't have Hulu, but I'm sure you can find it somewhere on YouTube. The Housewife and the Hustler really gave a voice to all of the victims who were involved in Tom Girardi's cases. And it was, honestly, it was tragic. It was tragic to watch. Fans liked the documentary because they got to see an inside sort of look at what was going on with the victims and how they actually feel. But one thing that they didn't like was the fact that Dana Wilkie and Danielle Staub were on the documentary. Now, we're not here to talk about that, but it was said that Brandi Glanville was also invited to do the documentary, and she turned it down because Hulu, ABC, whoever was putting out the payroll for this documentary, they weren't paying the people who were speaking on it. This was sort of just a situation where if you want to be involved, you're more than welcome to be involved. We can promote your platform, but that's about it. You're not getting a paycheck. And it just is what it is. They said that Erika is having a really tough year, to say the least. She's watching her once lavish lifestyle crumble before her very eyes. Not only that, but they're saying she's losing a large portion of her fan base, the fans who were once so loyal to the ice queen of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, because fans are indifferent about the fact, as to whether or not Erika Girardi is hiding any of the money or assets that her husband allegedly embezzled. So I'm sure that this is all, true, that fans, I'm reading it in the comments, fans are not happy with Erika. They're not even happy with the network, with Bravo, Andy Cohen, or the producers for having Erika Girardi on the show at this point. However, we do have to give it to them in this sense. This has been the main storyline of the show. And, like every single franchise, they always have one main storyline, whether it's Puppygate, Pantygate, whatever the hell, whatever the case is, they always have one main storyline, but fans aren't interested. Some of them, at least, they're saying, I'm not even watching the show as long as she's on it. They did the same thing to the Real Housewives of Orange County when they found out Kelly Dodd was still on the show. Season 15 had the lowest rated season ever, because after her whole situation came out with her Drunk Wives Matter hat, they were like, nope, we're done. We're not watching this. And they boycotted the show. Now, I'm curious as to whether or not they're going to start boycotting the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills if more information comes out tying Erika Girardi to any of these claims, and if Bravo continues to put them on the show. Now, Andy Cohen did say he doesn't feel like the documentary will affect Erika's position on the show, and that's very telling. Will it affect her position on the show if when, her accountant and her manager they're the same person. Her divorce attorney and her landlord are called into court on the week of July 19th, and something comes out against her. Maybe it will, but at the same time, it didn't affect Teresa Giudice's time on the show after she went to prison. So maybe it won't. The sources also said that Erika Girardi is terrified of going broke ahead of her 50th birthday. This is not the way that she thought her 50th birthday or, was going to go, or where she would be by the time she turned 50, because, at one point she had everything she ever wanted in life, except a husband that she was sort of into because she deemed him as, controlling, absent as far as emotions, dismissive. So she did make that very clear. She doesn't have, and she said this, I don't have the same relationship with my husband that Kyle has with Maurizio, that Lisa Rinna has with Harry Hamlin, that Kathy Hilton might have with Rick Hilton. She doesn't have that same relationship. So she did make that very obvious. And maybe at the end of the day, if they prove that she wasn't involved in any capacity, maybe she will be able to move on and find a nice rich man who can give her that lifestyle again, who can support her, and who actually loves her and is open to having a conversation. I feel like at the point that you've been in a relationship like this for so long, when you come out of it, there's nothing you want more than to have a supportive partner. And she might actually get that. They did pause her divorce. So the divorce isn't going to proceed until they figure out what's going on with all of the assets and the alleged embezzlement cases. However, she can live life as a single woman. She can technically still get divorced. She just won't receive any of the assets or anything that's left until everything else is solved or resolved with the estate. They did say that she's thankful that so far all of her castmates have been supportive of her. However, we know how this works. If they find out that Erika Girardi did have any involvement, they're not going to continue to support her. No one is going to support her after that, because it's just not anything that you can stand behind. I mean, again, there's burn victims, plane crash victims, boat crash victims, earthquake victims, car crash victims. There's victims all across the board of these horrific tragedies who have had their money ripped out from under them when that wasn't the point of hiring Tom Girardi. So if she did know any of this, and they're right, and I'm talking about Ronald Richards and the people who are going after Erika Girardi and her assets and her finances, if they are right and they think that this is a sham divorce, no way in hell that her cast members are going to stick behind her. And fans are already calling out Lisa Rinna because she was so relentless against Denise Richards. And they're like, where are you now, Rinna? Why aren't you saying anything to her now? Why aren't you saying anything to Erika? You've been so messy with Yolanda. You've been so messy with Kim Richards. You've been so messy with LVP and Denise. Why aren't you going in on Erika? Well, maybe we're just seeing a different side right now where it's way too soon to tell, because maybe she's just waiting to see how this all plays out before she gets messy. Erika Girardi did say on the show, and we saw this as a teaser, she's going to remember who stood with her and who was against her. And she's kind of intimidating when she talks like this. I mean, I don't know, she can't necessarily do anything to any of them, and she doesn't have any pull over who or how casting goes. So there's that. But at the end of the day, somebody has to question these things. And I think from what we can see on the super trailer, I believe it's going to be Sutton Strack, because even though we're seeing Sutton support Erika Girardi right now, I think that in the future, once all of this comes out and they start hearing about the widows and the orphans involved and how tragic all of this really is, there's going to be a lot of red flags and questions that are going to be asked. And producers have a job to do. They have to push the women to ask these questions. So yes, as of right now, her castmates have been supportive, but there's no way to tell in the future if that's going to continue to fly. They said that Erika is determined to move forward with all of this and clear her name, show that she wasn't involved. However, the future is looking pretty bleak. And on top of that, she's now caught up in all of the bankruptcy proceedings, and she could technically go, underwater financially. Again, this is one thing that we have to see how this plays out in court. If Ronald Richards is as adamant as he shows on social media, this could be really bad for Erika Girardi. So if I were her, I would be stressed the hell out too, because you just don't know what they're going to find, especially if Ronald Richards is right and they're not cooperating with the finances, which now they don't even have an option because the court ruled in June. that Erika Girardi does have to hand over all of the finances or the financial documents that are associated with EJ Global, Pretty Mess Inc., and any other affiliated company, that could be telling. Or it could clear her name. Guys, I want to know what you think about Erika Girardi's financial woes. Do you think she should be concerned about all of this? And do you think it makes sense that she's losing a big part of her fan base? Do you think that they should even be having her come back to the show after all of this, after everything that's been said? Or do you think that she should be fired? So many questions to which I need so many answers. So if you guys haven't already, go ahead, comment below. And before you go, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell because, well, you don't want to miss anything we have coming up. And with that, we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.
Check us out every Monday and Wednesday. Thanks for watching Up and Adam.